Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Dental Realist podcast. I'm Dr. Ryder Waldron and I'm here as usual with Dr. Marcus D. Neff and Dr. Troy Stevens. Troy, how's it going tonight?
Doing really great. Great to be back. It's been a long time since we podcast. Yeah, we've had some holidays in there and, just busy life stuff and we haven't been able to podcast. So
yeah, we're getting back to it in the new year.
Yeah.
Marcus, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's my favorite night of the week. It's the last day of the work week, and tomorrow, the weekend, I'm free.
Yes.
Absolutely. Dude, I love that. I love it. I feel the same way.
It is a good feeling.
I know Ryder does not feel the way. He wishes he could do dentistry tomorrow.
I mean, is 8 days of dentistry too much to ask in 1 week?
Not for you.
Honestly.
It is.
No, it feels like Thursday. I just feel like I could just decompress. Sometimes it brings, my eyes get a little teary because I'm so excited to be done for the week.
I agree. Boy, when that last patient's done on a Thursday afternoon, you're just like, oh boy, yes.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
So
how good you sleep on the weekends,
Oh, it's.
I mean, you
amazing.
sleep really good till Sunday night, and then it hits the fan again, and you can't sleep. Stress.
Start thinking about all the stuff you got to do.
Thinking about going to work on Monday morning, and you get ulcers.
I've heard some other dentists say, and the three of us have talked about it on Sunday, that little sense of dread starts to creep in, probably around lunchtime on Sunday, I would say. And it sticks with you and gradually grows like a demon in your mind. And it just continues to get worse. And I don't remember that. I don't know. I would be curious to know if that happens to dental students right now. I don't remember it being like that for me in dental school, but
no, not at all. Yeah. Unless we had a physiology test on a Monday, which, remember, all of our tests were on Mondays on physiology.
It seemed like it, yeah.
So you'd have a little bit of a knot in your gut, but I don't remember really dreading going in on Monday, but
don't either.
Now, yeah, kind of.
If
I'm straight up honest, you know what I'm saying?
And that's what we're here. We're here to be straight up honest.
We're real.
Yep.
So we were talking a little bit before we started recording about some of the real nice things that happened to us during the day. And Troy, you mentioned eating a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I had a couple of those Reese's eggs, and man, that is a nice break from the day. But if you guys could pick your favorite candy, what would it be? Marcus, do you have a favorite?
That's tough. I kind of have two that I go back and forth between, but I like a good Butterfinger.
Mm-hmm.
And I did just go to the proctologist this week too, and I'm not talking about that.
Whoa, not the jelly finger, just the Butterfinger.
The candy bar, the Butterfinger. and I'd go maybe with the Baby Ruth.
A Baby Ruth, really?
Wow, I did not think that would make your top list.
Came out of left field. Okay, Troy, what about you? Let's clean it up and
my
get to that
clear advantage number one is the Reese's peanut butter cup, without a doubt. I love that. I love those things.
I do too. And
that's a good candy bar.
Here's my question. Do you like the peanut butter cups or like the peanut butter hearts or the Christmas trees?
Okay. Like the Valentine ones?
Yeah, the thicker peanut butter in them. What do you have a preference there?
No, if it's a fresh, like we talked a little bit before, if it's fresh, I like the hearts and those kind of things a little better because the chocolate is just a hair thinner, right?
Yep.
And so if you get a good mix of that peanut butter and it's super fresh, it's not crumbly and dry and hard.
A little bit of that oil on the bottom.
That's hard to beat. That's very hard to beat.
It's true. My wife brought me some of those little tiny Reese's Hearts to work this week, and man, I cracked one open. It had a little bit, kind of oily, like a little bit of sweat coming off it. Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So, well, that's the podcast, guys. Let's just wrap it up.
Right. Tell us your candy bar. Did you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'd go with Reese's too, man. I cannot pass up a Reese's. There's just something special about that chocolate and peanut butter combination.
One time, one of my hygienists did something. I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy you some Reese's peanut butter cups to thank you for that. And you know what she said? Please don't. I hate them.
Wow.
I'm like, what are you? How can you hate Reese's peanut butter cups?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. maybe she has messed up taste buds or something.
Did you fire her on the spot?
I should have.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now here's a candy bar. I don't know. Do you guys have these candy bars where you live? Big Hunk. Do you know
Oh, I
what
know.
I'm talking about?
Yes, those will yank your teeth out.
Yeah, dangerous.
Yes.
But
The white
like
nougat.
Big Hunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do like that white taffy. Yeah, and
Got peanuts.
I do enjoy. Yes, I do enjoy a Big Hunk. But it wouldn't be like in my
no
top
dentistry
10.
would ever survive forever.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
I'm still confused about the Baby Ruth. I just can't believe that.
Now
what's in a Baby Ruth? What? I know there's some nuts in there. I don't like nuts in my candy bar.
Yeah. Well, you like peanut butter. Peanut butter.
I know, but that's not nutty. Like I don't like a Snickers. I like it. Here's the thing I like about that the Reese's is you bite it off and you let everything melt together in your mouth. You don't have to chew anything. But you eat like a Snickers, you got peanuts stuck there with some I mean, it's a mess in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, different combination though is the Snickers is similar to a Baby Ruth, only just a little bit different, right? There's like isn't there a nougat or something in the Baby Ruth?
You like nougat?
Yeah, there is kind of a little.
There's a little something in there that's not in the Snickers, but I like a Snickers as well. Now, Snickers isn't bad.
Now, while we've been talking, I looked up the instructions for eating your Big Hunk.
Oh, there's a way to eat it. This. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Don't eat it.
It says cure for the snack attack. Place bar firmly in one hand, then smack your Big Hunk on a hard surface. Happily eat your bite-sized pieces.
That's safer.
What?
That's safer.
Or for a soft, chewy treat, place your Big Hunk in the microwave.
Oh,
Heat
yeah.
for 5 to 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Carefully eat your super soft, chewy snack.
Uh-huh. I like that better.
Wow.
You don't like smacking your Big Hunk on a hard surface?
I mean, I'm not sure about that. Wow.
Anyway, we should move on.
We should move on. So we do have surprisingly, candy is not our topic tonight, but it could be.
Got a bunch of dentists talking about candy.
So it's that time of year when dental students are getting close to graduation, at least fourth-year dental students are, and, excited to get out in the workforce. And we were going to talk tonight about when to start looking for jobs or purchase options, things like that, and talk a little bit about how we came to, pursue our, how we work now or how we worked right after dental school. So first of all, let's give everybody a little recap about everybody and how we or what we did right after graduation. Marcus, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody what you did? Because I think all three of our stories are slightly different.
Yeah, when I got out of dental school, I'd been planning to do a startup practice, and I worked everything out. So I had a building ready to go, and I did a startup. But I was only working there a couple of days a week, maybe 3 days a week early on. Most of the time I was just traveling around to different guys' offices, working a day here, a day there, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to produce enough just starting right off. So yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Okay. Troy, what about you?
Yeah, I was looking for a partnership or a practice to purchase, and I came across this office here that had a partner that was retiring, and so I came in and took over for him, and yeah, the rest is history. I've been here the whole time. I associated for a year, and then I purchased the practice a year after, or half the practice a year after being here.
Yeah, and
so yeah.
I guess mine was a little different. I had plans to buy a practice like most of my fourth year in dental school. There was a dentist that was like, I think about 70, and he was planning on selling his practice, a pretty small practice, but I was going to buy that, and I think it was like, I don't know, March or something like that before we graduated, and he backed out of the deal. And so I was stuck. Anyway, I ended up, the dentist that I had gone to growing up, he offered to let me rent some space in the half of his office that he had, and I did a startup for a couple of years, and then ended up buying a practice a couple of years after. But yeah, so that was a little bit of a stressful time. But is there anything you guys would have done differently as far as looking for jobs in dental school?
I got my mind so set on doing a startup, and I don't even remember why, but I just decided, you know what? There's nobody out there that is gonna do it like I'm gonna do it, or so. I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided I was gonna do a startup, and so, that's just the direction I went. I started asking around in the area I wanted to live. Got a hold of a dental supply rep who was pretty big in the area, and started asking him where would be a good spot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Troy, what about you? You've done anything different?
I was the same thing though. I just was so focused on buying a practice, getting into ownership as fast as possible. I didn't even really consider anything else. Looking back, I almost wish either I would have considered maybe even in the military, which I didn't even cross my mind because I didn't want to be told where to live.
Yeah.
Same.
At the time. But like we always know, hindsight's 20/20. So kind of looking back, this is what I could have done better, and I would have maybe stayed an associate a little bit longer and not incurred so much debt right off. I was so set on purchasing a practice, and it wasn't until 5 years after owning a practice that I realized, my gosh, I'm having a hard time making money when I spend everything that I make to debt service.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was really similar.
I agree.
I mean, I just had my mind so made up, but in hindsight, I think I would have been better off spending a little time either in a residency or just done the military right off the bat. Be an associate for a while. I think there's just a lot I probably could have picked up and learned and gotten better at without quite the same stress level right out of the gate.
Yeah, I agree. I think I wish I would have maybe worked as an associate a little more, a little longer. When I did my startup, I did work at a couple offices here and there, and it was good. It got me some more experience, kept me busy. But it would have been nice, I think, to work in an office with a dentist that I trusted and that could give me a little leadership, a little guidance in certain procedures and help me out a little bit because I was like you guys. I just wanted to get into ownership as soon as possible because that's what dentists do. I thought, and I was just in such a rush to get going, and it just never occurred to me to maybe just go work for somebody for a while and have a guaranteed income. And that's probably one thing I would have changed. Maybe work for somebody for a couple of years and start looking for associateships earlier instead of. I was solely focused on looking for practice purchase opportunities, and I wish I would have kept my options open a little more.
Yeah. I really wish that we would have really thought more about opening a clinic somewhere and having all of us work together.
Yes. That would have been fun.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been
fun. Any work, but it would have been awesome.
No dentistry.
We would have had a great time. Where we don't do dentistry, we just hang out.
Just debate the favorite type of candy all day long.
Yes.
Talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars candy and whatever else. Yeah.
But no, really though, that would have been a good deal if we could have started some kind of a corporation back in the day.
Yeah, and that would be something dental students now could look into because there is I don't know what you would say. If you pool your resources, there is a little more opportunity there rather than just one person going out and securing loans and everything like that and buying all the equipment. I mean, if you went in with a couple of different dentists, 2-3 dentists, you could, share a pano machine, share a Cerex, share X-ray equipment, share all kinds of stuff, chairs and things like that, and
lots of cost savings.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that now.
Yeah, I know. Not a bad idea. We gotta stop. Hey, stop this recording so that we can not give away all of our secrets.
Yeah, serious.
But location is key on that deal. You gotta have enough people that you can support.
Right.
Multiple dentists in there, but that's corporate dentistry for you right there. Everything in house. You got 4, 5, 6 dentists in there, specialty guys coming in, and it's just the way it is.
Yep.
The dental world. Unfortunately, insurance companies are ruining it for everybody. So.
Yeah, the insurance companies. We were talking this week, the three of us, about raising fees and things like that. And Troy had made the comment, well, why don't you just charge $1,000 for your comp exam because the insurance will allow you to collect like $29 and it won't matter anyway.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Totally true.
Yes.
It is totally true. It's
Yep.
ridiculous.
Charge all you want. Insurance company will tell you how much you can make.
Yeah, that's totally
true.
So, Troy, how early did you start looking for a practice opportunity after dental school?
It was during dental school that I think I started looking. I remember flying out here. When we talked about what we were going to discuss tonight, I kept thinking when we talked about, when was it that we actually started getting serious about looking, right?
Yeah.
And I remember kind of brainstorming some areas that I wanted to possibly go. And I think it was third year of dental school, maybe toward the end of the third year, when I really was looking pretty heavy at where I wanted to go and trying to decide. But I remember it was nice when you locked a place in, when you finally got that, that job, you knew where you're going for the first time, because until then you kind of feel like you're in limbo a little bit. It's like, man, here I am, I'm going to be a dentist and I don't even have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a dentist in a year and a half, whatever.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, then what,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it also is stressful because you hear of like other people in your class. Well, that guy, he's already got a job, or like, his dad's a dentist, so he's going to go work for him. And it's like, oh, well, gosh dang it, I don't have anything lined up, and my dad's not a dentist, so what am I going to do?
Yeah.
When did you start looking, Marcus, during dental school? Is it third year, fourth year? Do you remember what year?
It was really third year. I mean, before that, I actually, when I went to dental school, the dentist that I'd gone to growing up, I thought that's probably where I'm going to go. I mean, I'd been talking to him a little bit, and we'd never gotten into anything specific, but it kind of felt like he was interested in having me come in maybe after dental school, and I was interested in going there, but it just never really panned out. And I kind of thought a lot about lots of different scenarios, but the military, I didn't want to just go live wherever they told me to live. And I kind of got more and more to where I was like, I don't want to work for somebody else and have to do it the way they do it. And so by my junior year, I made my mind up that I was going to do a startup. And that's kind of when I started asking questions and deciding where I wanted to live and figuring out where back where I live now would be a possibility. And
yeah, makes sense. And it seems like nowadays that dentists, and they're probably younger dentists, they're okay working like in one state for a few years, then they'll move to a totally different state. Like I've worked in two different counties in my career, and even that feels like a stretch for me. So I think being flexible on where you live and what kind of patients you see, what kind of practice you work in is probably beneficial for younger dentists. But that wouldn't have worked for me. I just had my mindset that I was coming back to Utah and wanted to live here and work here. And I wish maybe I'd kept some options open otherwise, but my family was here and everything, so I want to come back. But I think dentists nowadays with technology and being able to FaceTime your, parents or your family or whoever, they're able to go work other places and still keep in touch with family. So might be a different dental world now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you were willing, you can be pretty successful if you're willing to go to certain areas where not everybody wants to go. That would have been a problem, with us back in the day because we all had different goals,
Yeah.
You guys kind of wanted to start up / thing, and I had no desire to start up, so I don't know. It's weird. Looking back, you kind of said, well, that totally would have worked, with all of us doing it. But at the time, for some reason, I was so risk adverse. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go do the for sure thing, go buy the practice and live happily ever after in the same spot. And guess what? That's exactly what I'm doing.
That's right.
I probably should have thought of something else.
Mission accomplished.
It's exactly
it's
what
totally true.
I live in the same house. I work in the same office. I mean, it's just like, wow, I accomplished what I set out to do, I suppose.
And, by all accounts, you would be considered a very successful person.
Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely. With a boatload of stress, but still but you hide it well.
Well, only on the podcast. There's only a certain amount of reality we can let out.
You'll be curled up in the fetal position as soon as we're done talking tonight.
I probably am right now. You just don't even know. We're not on video.
So Marcus, I'm just curious about who, if you were like, if dental students are looking for an associateship or to buy a practice or a startup, you said you contacted a sales rep to do your startup. Is that right?
Yeah, dental supply rep. I
So,
first I first kind of figured out where I wanted to go. That's kind of the first I
okay.
did.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like if you guys were looking for an associateship or to buy a practice, like where would you suggest dental students look nowadays? Is there like job boards, you go to Indeed.com or like where is the best way to find a dental job right now or a practice to purchase? Troy,
I don't know if I could say the best way, but I mean I think there's several ways. You can contact like the state dental society. There's usually some some list. There might be something that they publish in their newsletter each month or quarter
yeah,
or whatever they do that list practices for sale. Um, there are definitely lots of local and regional practice brokers that you could probably Google and look up. Um, in my case, I'd heard that this Patterson Dental Supply rep pretty much had like 80% of the market in the whole area around where I live.
hmm,
And it's true, he did and still does. So he was a really good resource and turned out that he's a good, honest guy. I mean,
yeah.
he, so he really knew like all the different areas, people who were interested in selling their building or if anyway, he was a really good resource for me, and that may work. But you definitely want to check into that rep. I know not all sales reps are created equal for sure.
Well, that's definitely true. Troy, where did you where did you find your practice? I when you were looking for yours?
Aftco.
Aftco. Okay.
Yeah, it was Aftco. I had contacted it. Is that a word?
It is
It
Uh,
is
now.
now.
some supply rep people out here in the Boise area, the same kind of thing like Marcus did, and they had told me of a couple practices. I went and viewed them, and somehow I got connected with this guy from Aftco. I can't remember exactly how I found it. I don't know if I called him or if he heard about something and contacted me. I can't
Was he
remember.
a senator from Montana?
No, unfortunately,
Not that one.
not
Not
that one.
that NAFTCO rep.
That
No,
that Aftco
that's
rep did come to
isn't
our
that
dental school. Yeah,
yeah. Is his name Mike Simpson?
it is
No,
now.
I can't remember.
he,
But anyway,
I think it was Butcher,
um,
wasn't it? Something Ed Butcher or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, that's a one name you want as a dentist.
Butcher.
Yeah.
Butcher. I nearly killed her.
Yes. But then it come to find out that he had transitioned my current business partner into this office, 10 years or 12 years before I got here. And so the senior partner wanted to use him because he felt like he had paid AFCO already for the entire transition of the whole entire practice. So he figures that they owed him. And so that was who I would have had to work with anyway. So
Hmm,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of dental practice sales companies, transition companies, and the only thing I would suggest is to find one that's reputable. That's how I found the one I used when I bought my practice. Is I got some recommendations from other dentists, and I wouldn't have used them without those recommendations. But there's a ton of them out there. I know like Henry Schein does some practice transitions now. Aftco.
Yes.
I use CTC Associates.
Yep.
There's a lot of
Consani.
stuff in the West. Is Consani one of them? Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Associates, they're big out here in Western U.S. I'll put a and they didn't tell us to say anything, of course, but CTC Associates that you use, Ryder, we've dealt with them with some other things, right?
Yeah.
And those guys are legit. They're really, really
Yeah.
good, honest guys.
Yeah, they are, and they make it fair for the seller and for the buyer. And I guess that's what you would want, I guess, in a transition
Hmm.
company, something like that. You don't want to take advantage of somebody else. You don't want to be taken advantage of. You want to know that you're getting a fair evaluation of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because some of the transition companies will actually make make their commissions off of the sale of the practice.
yeah,
So in essence, they have a vested interest in not falsify, that's a terrible word to say, but they would like to, appraise the business on a higher level,
Right.
higher margin, because they would in return make some more. So you got to be careful of how they're doing that. I don't know if they're still doing it that way. I haven't transitioned to practice in a long time, so that's one thing to be on the lookout, is how do they value the practice? How are they getting paid? And do they evenly represent the buyer and the seller?
Yeah, when I did mine with CTC, yeah, they just had a flat rate, and so which
That's
I
correct.
thought seemed fair.
Yep.
I thought so because then they're doing the evaluation, and no matter what kind of evaluation they come out with, you're still paying the same. So yeah, it worked out well. But there's
Absolutely.
probably some good ones out there. But like Marcus said, if there's a rep that you trust or get a recommendation from somebody, those reps are in a lot of offices, so they kind of have their ear to the ground with those things and
Lots of
get some good
connections. These guys,
information.
they
Yeah,
they talk to a lot of people.
yeah,
Yeah, they do.
for sure. So if you guys were looking to hire an associate or sell your practice to somebody, one of these dental students that's just getting out of school, what kind of what kind of traits or skills or personality would you look for in somebody that you're going to trust your practice to? Marcus, let's start with you.
I think this one, to me, this one's important, but I don't really know how you truly gauge it. But passion, I'd want
Yeah,
somebody, if they were going to
yeah,
work for
okay.
me, and I'm trying to, make a little money off of them working for me, obviously. I
Hmm.
want to know that they're really passionate about dentistry, that it's really something they love to do.
Yeah, that's a good one because they're gonna probably struggle with some things. I mean, dentistry is not easy, especially right out of school. And if they're passionate about doing it and learning things and really getting after it, then yeah, that's a good trait to have. Troy, what about you?
I'm looking for someone who's looking to buy.
Somebody's got
Yes.
some
because I
cash.
because I'm looking to sell. Yeah. No. Yeah. Somebody who has personality. That
Yeah.
has the ability to communicate with people, because we have had multiple associates in my office, and
Hmm.
most of them have been pretty dang good guys. And then, but there's been a couple where you'll hear, hey, I don't want to see that guy anymore, and that's kind of bad, because you're like going, hey, I really want you to
Yeah,
see him, because
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have enough time to see everybody, and so it's great to have the other doctor here. But if people
yeah,
request that they don't see him, that's a problem.
yeah,
But in all honesty, in this phase of my practice and my time, yeah, we're looking for somebody who could potentially take over for me, and at least take a few days off my hands, or and start transitioning. My business partner is the same. He's even further than I am, but I'm at a point in my career where I want to cut back a little bit, and so yeah, that's kind of what we would look for. But mainly personality. Maybe possibly another thing in this environment that we live in now is someone who's willing to work maybe some nights, maybe some
yeah,
weekends even. It's weird how dentistry has gone from Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5 thing, to where, weekend hours, night hours, everybody's trying, because that's when people want to be seen, and
yeah.
we're catering more and more to the people. My office hasn't done that. We're not open in the evening. We're not open on the weekends. But I would not be opposed to an associate coming in and opening up those hours, and working those and bringing in more patients during those times.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That would be nice to, get some more hours in the practice. I mean, a lot of people will come from between 5 and 9 or something. I've seen some that are 24-hour dental emergency practices, and I don't know how well, how busy those are, but it's an option. So yeah, if anybody wants to buy Troy's practice, you can contact us at
Yes.
dentalrealist@gmail.com.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
He's looking to sell. Make sure you have cash.
Yes.
Um,
That's
yeah,
right.
I guess, I mean, I'd agree with both of what both of you said. I also would like somebody that would probably have the same practice philosophy as me. I don't do a lot of molar endo. If somebody came in and could do molar endo very well, and you wouldn't have to refer all that out, that would be great. But Also, some endodontists, or I'd say most endodontists, do overall better endodontics than general dentists. So I usually have the philosophy that I want what's best for my patients. So I send molar endo to the endodontist, or wisdom teeth extraction to the oral surgeons. And I know there's some practice gurus that would tell you that you need to keep everything in house. You need to do all molar endo, all extractions, this and that. But uh, some of that isn't what's best for the patient. It might be best for your bottom line, but it doesn't always seem to be best for the patient. And there's enough stress in dentistry that I don't want to have to worry about that stuff. So I maybe practice philosophy, how they want to run a practice, how they want to treat the staff would probably go a long way to me hiring somebody or selling or trusting my practice to be sold to them.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. Yep.
That's great things there.
And they have to like Reese's peanut butter cups, I guess.
Yeah, if not, it's incompatible.
So Troy, that staff member of yours, she can't buy my practice.
Yep. Well, she doesn't work very much anymore anyway. She's just fill in now.
Wow.
But, no, she's a great hygienist.
Well, that's good. Yeah, do you guys have anything else to add? Any other nuggets you want to throw out there?
No, it seems like there's a lot of different options out there right now, and I think that in talking to some of these guys that have been coming out of school, for some reason they do seem a little more maybe open-minded than I was. I don't know if you guys have seen it in talking to anybody in your communities that you guys have chatted with, but a lot of people are considering if not the military, corporate dentistry, some of these more solid, more for real things, because dentistry is in a weird state right now with a whole lot of weird unknowns with the private practice and us losing all of our autonomy with these insurance companies running everything. So I think that the students now may be more open-minded than I was.
Yeah, I think back
that's
to
true.
Yeah, I just wanted to own a practice and I wanted to do it ASAP. And now, with student loan debt being as high as it is, I mean, you have to start making some money to start paying those loans off. And a guaranteed income as an associate is a great way to go. We talked to a practice transition guy at the Utah Dental Association convention a couple years ago, last year, something like that. And he still said that over time, a practice owner will make more than somebody who stays working as an associate. So, at some point, dentists are probably going to want to transition into ownership. But starting out, man, it'd be hard nowadays to pass up a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah,
for sure. And just get rid of some of the stresses you deal with as an owner. Yep. Early on, if you're young, you can handle it, but as you get into it and you've been doing it for a long time, we've talked about this in the past, it just seems to wear you down a little bit, and
it does.
It's super hard. Like Ryder was funny. Was it yesterday morning when you texted and yeah, isn't it great how my staff thinks that I can fix the computers and everything, and oh, the computers are down, Dr. Walden. Why don't we have you be the IT guy?
Do this, do that.
I get the same thing.
It's
hey,
true.
Dr. Stevenson,
yeah.
monitor in chair 2's out. Oh, really? Well, how about that guy? I don't have time to mess with this.
Wasn't it a few weeks ago? Didn't you have a broken door or a hinge or something like that?
I have a broken hinge on my door. I'm still trying to track down the stupid hinge for it, and I don't have time to do it, so I'm just like, the door's just popped open.
Yeah,
it's like you got to be the fix-it guy, the computer guy.
Is that the bathroom door?
Yes, so we just leave it wide open. The patient bathroom door. No.
Man.
But it's the way it is in dentistry, and it's
true.
super, super stressful. I, as an associate, would be very easy to just say, "Yeah, let somebody else deal with that. I don't care."
Yeah. Let somebody else deal with that, and somebody else pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let you pay for your retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. We've had several episodes where we talk about the benefits of associateship versus ownership, or vice versa. But there are some good things and bad things about both of them. But starting out, I think I wish I would have worked as an associate more and worked in a practice that would be a practice that I wanted to work in long term. There was some that I worked in. It was just mostly to get a paycheck. I remember one dentist office I worked at, the high speeds didn't even have lights on them, and sometimes the water would work. Like, good heck, is this really where I want to work forever? No, not at all. So maybe it was good to go work there, so I knew what I didn't want. But some of those experiences are not real fun.
That is a disadvantage of being an associate, isn't it? Because you're pretty much at the mercy of whoever owns the practice and what equipment they decide to buy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there were a couple of times that I was working there that I do the prophies and everything there, and like there'd be new patients come in. I was almost like embarrassed that I worked there and felt bad for them coming to that office. So it's probably a good thing I got out of that. But yeah, it was weird. Anyway, yeah. So, well, Marcus, why don't you tell everybody where they can get in touch with us and buy our books and listen to us and everything like that?
I will do it. So you can email us at dentalrealist@gmail.com. That's also where you can purchase Troy's practice.
Yes. Yes.
I probably shouldn't have said anything, should I?
You should have.
All these calls. No.
Marcus and I are taking 10% right off the top.
That's right, for being your practice broker.
Just appraised for $5 million.
You're going to be broker, and we're going to be richer. That's how this broker thing works.
Yes.
Anyway, where else can you reach us? We're on Facebook. We're on. Where else are we?
We're on Twitter. Did you mention Twitter?
Yes, Twitter.
We're on
the Twitters.
LinkedIn.
Yes, you can find our books. So you want to be a dentist, and so now you're a dentist. Amazon, several other places you can get those electronically. The first book, So You Want to Be a Dentist, is actually available in hard copy.
Yes, it is.
Pretty fancy for you traditionalists.
Not as hard as a big hunk. If you slap it, it won't slap it against the desk. It's not going to break into bite-sized pieces.
That's right.
But you can get your hands on it. So, well, we will be back on episode 44, I guess. Maybe we'll talk about some other food items. I don't know. That was kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to go
Marcus is a chef, so.
Marcus is a chef.
I do like to cook.
Do you remember, Marcus, when we went to the UDA convention one year and they had a chef there?
Yes, I do.
I remember going that.
Probably one of my favorite classes I've ever gone to.
Yeah. Mine too, and I don't even like to cook. It just wasn't talking about dentistry, so I was happy. That was good. All right.
We're really starting 2020 off on the right foot here.
Oh my
gosh. The podcast. If we start at the low here, we can just build it up from there.
It can't get any worse.
Yeah.
3 rays of sunshine coming at you.
Right. So. The problem lately is that we have not had enough vitamin D. I mean, we haven't hardly seen the sun over here for a week. Too much storming, cloudy weather.
My kids have had 3 snow days in a row this week.
Oh, man.
And Ryder's praying for snow. I don't get it.
Begging for some snow. I just want it to dump down. I want 2 feet of snow in my front yard. And I just love it. I love the wintertime.
There you go. To each his own.
Each his own. Whatever. All right. Well, thanks for listening to episode 43, and we will be back on episode 44 soon. Thanks.